Have these best of one games and you have these underdog teams coming in, like the T side is always going to be their strength, I feel. But when you have to swap sides and you have to defend against a Na'Vi that's going to have every trick to pull out on this T side, that's where it's going to be a lot more difficult. So a force buy comes on through for Mongols. See what they can achieve with it.
Well, they're going to have to try and potentially retake the A-bomb site because it's all overwhelmed right now. Annihilation misses the opportunity to find MPL with the back turned, and Bit doubles up with the Galil. This one's going a lot more in Na'Vi's favor, and Mongols want nothing more to do with it. But keep your eye on not only Simple, but Electronic, who's even flanking through B apartments. They want to make sure that the Mongols can't save a thing.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way they get away with anything right now. Perfecto's on the other side. Simple was forced on back, but Electronic, well, he's got them pinned into market, and it's not looking like a good sale for them. Perfecto finds both, and Na'Vi get into the lead with that 9th round.
Yeah, just to build back on a point you were saying before about the T side being so effective for the Mongols, and that's where their strengths might lie. It'd be really interesting to see when the investment comes in, when it is that gun round versus gun round. Are they going to try and push extremities? Are they going to try and set the tempo on some of these kills and catch out Na'Vi? Because it was their pace setting, it was taking the engagements on their terms that was allowing them to scope into the rounds in the first place. Or are Na'Vi going to be a lot more diligent and potentially aware, especially in a best of one format, that that could be a upset tactic?
Well, I certainly don't think there'll be any upset into this round. It's just the pistols. Blitz has the dig. And with 20 kills to his name, no reason you wouldn't want him to be the man holding the better gun. He's going to be peeking in towards mid. Electronic is going to be clearing on out through to A. Now, if you're taking their time with this, they should be aware that Mongols most likely haven't forced into this. And that's that Deagle, unable to find too much purchase. There's a bit of damage onto Simple. That's all it's going to collect. Now they can start to farm up these pistols. Electronic gets one. Perfecto coming on through as well. The USP does find one. Any more that they can get done would be pretty impressive. Bartek's just going to slip on away. That smoke keeping him interested. Bit is able to deal with him easily enough.
Yeah, really not catastrophic for Na'Vi. One casualty. You could compare and contrast that to the amount of leverage that Na'Vi were getting on their USP rounds. Whilst there only was a couple of pistols in play on that first half, they're still able to restrict weaponry away from the Mongols. This doesn't happen. And in round number 19, the buy, as a result, is pretty much even. You have got a Galil on Simple rather than an AWP, so Annihilation has got kind of free range, and he can take a lot of opportunity here. Needs to kind of set the trend and the pace for the Mongols, see if he can use this long-range weapon to try and crack open an advantage.
Yeah, and I feel like we've not really got to see Annihilation shine, but the CT side, obviously, on Mirage is going to be where he needs to really show what he can do. Has been one of the better performers for this squad, as you would expect from the AWP, of course. And well, he gets the opportunity, but it's denied immediately. Electronic, 2 very fast kills. That's going to be the A bomb site weakened significantly. Bartek is still here. He's dancing between the tickets, has to pull on back, drops the smoke. And Techno4K has caught out Electronic, trying to come on over. That's going to keep it competitive here for Mongols. Bartek peering over this one way that he's set up, trying to take down Simple, but Simple not going to give him that fight. Bartek even forcing further forward. Perfecto's found one, but this reposition is really nice. Catches Simple, and he's using this smoke to his advantage. Perfecto, though, comes through with a clean double.
Yeah, nice attempt from the Mongols. The fact that they create a little tunnel with those smokes, it funnels Na'Vi out in towards the extremity by Tetris and allows Mongols more opportunity to build in towards the bomb site. And by taking space further in, it allows more people to get involved in those altercations. But Perfecto through the smoke just denies. And he's that player Na'Vi rely on a lot. A strong multi-kill potential. And now he's on 20 kills himself. A strong 3K to keep Na'Vi in this, to keep it flawless to the start of this second half.
Ooh, okay. Annihilation might not be able to get the kill with the AWP, but the Deagle works out. Takes down Simple on that peak. That is a beautiful dig. Electronic immediately tries to slip on into that position to see if he can catch off the relocation from Annihilation, and he's caught Bartek looking the other way, looking for more as well, and there's that Desert Eagle connecting with a follow-up. Annihilation keeping Mongols in this round despite such a light purchase. Blitz is pushed on through top mid. Issue is A side is kind of open now. It's just Techno over here. Still have this position in mid. Blitz has picked himself up. And AWP bits under pressure and he falls as well. Perfecto and NPL have to do it all.
Oh, Blitz through the smoke. What is that shot onto MPL? Just throws Perfecto in towards the clutch, and this off angle could be used for one towards Blitz, but he's scoped up, trying to clear every single position, and Perfecto just tucks his way in towards Tetris. There is a smoke, but there's no defuse kit available. So Mongols just want to isolate the fight. They want to restrict Perfecto's opportunity in the clutch. Timer working down low, and they swing together. More than enough time to lock in the defuse. And just with pistols, the Mongols survive against Na'Vi.
What an absolute steal, and it was these two players that did it all. Annihilation opening up with that first kill onto Simple as he was trying to take that fast control on towards Connector. Gets the follow-up too on the reposition. I mean, this kill is just criminal. That's just a bit unlucky for Na'Vi there that Blitz hits that, but it was aimed at the bomb planter, so, you know, there is a bit of thought into that one. It's not pure luck, but it is a kill that he'll be happy to find, sets them up for success in the retake. Mongols steal an unlikely round away.
It was really good target selection as well. Understood the bit was in towards short, so they both try and isolate him, so they can also both have weapons falling into that retake. Make sure that there's not a threat for Na'Vi in the late portion of the round. Azteca peeking in towards the end of B, and Simple might have just spotted the shoulder of Techno, but are you ready for the AWP? No, but it's not the kill conversion. Simple's a little bit surprised about that one. You can see it in his reaction. Low HP, though, will escape.
Yeah, I think Simple was spotted on the jump over, so the AWP is able to get into position to go for that shot. Obviously has to be a little bit through the wall as soon as the tiny pixel is spotted. MPL now steps up, and, well, you know that AWP was there. Often the AWP will rotate, but this is the secondary AWP. Do they know that this is Azteca holding this and not Annihilation? Meanwhile, a bit of aggression out towards Rant. Mongols are getting a lot of information off this. Bartek and Blitz are pushed all the way through, and they're going to be able to be on the flank, but the issue is the hit's coming through now. Azteca fires off a shot, forced on down, repositioned. Techno 4K still tucked on through, and he's able to swing out for one, but the trades are here for Na'Vi. That's given them the avenue through. And that flank that came through is going to come very late for the Mongols.
There's also a flank for Electronic. Can walk his way through CT. He's going to catch Annihilation completely for free, and that might even force the Mongols back, not wanting to go for this, but they remain vigilant. Keep on pushing. Simple now turns around on the swivel, understands that they've cleared out everything else. Bartek struck down from the record, and suddenly it's just Blitz. And he can't get past Simple. 12 rounds plays 9, and you just have to think, if Mongols hold firm, if they're able to get more than one kill as Na'Vi breach their way onto the bomb site, that flank could have been a lot more effective, but instead it was so disjointed, and Na'Vi picked the perfect moment to execute their game plan.
Yeah, timing wasn't great for Mongols there. Got all the information, but too late to do anything with it, unfortunately. Second timeout coming through now for the CT side. They will have enough to buy into this round, although it's going to require a few drops over from Blitz and Annihilation. It was a good hold initially. Azteca drops down and finds the player pushing up short in bit, and you feel like maybe there's an opportunity here to get a multi, but as soon as they get those entries in, the trades are clean. Na'Vi set in that post plant, Simple, in a beautiful position to get them as they come on through. Mongols, they have got the investment through. It's not the prettiest, and in fact, Annihilation is keeping a little bit of extra money for later on.
Yeah, a little bit of future-proofing. Wants to make sure he can have the AWP and have that as a prospect for another round. Take a look at this space being taken by MPL. It's aggressive out of Na'Vi, taking contact over towards Palace, but the real intention is from Ramp. Bit and MPL combine, and Mongols certainly aren't safe. Flashbang over the top. Annihilation will at least pull one back into the deficit, but MPL's got Azteca locked in. Even spots the gun barrel.
Azteca stays unnumbered. The flames and the bullets ensure it. Techno 4K also dancing with the devil here. It's not quite spreading to him. He's very lucky to be okay there. This retake, I mean, you can't even give this a look in. Techno 4K has edged on forward. MPL is low, so this kill is very much doable. Oh, he spotted him on the jiggle. MPL, a perfect shot. Annihilation gets the trade, but chance of holding the AWP very low. A nice second kill. That's all it's going to be.
Yeah, that's a really nice contact round from Na'Vi as well. Taking the positioning and the ground out towards Palace and being that distraction piece. And therefore, that shot from Bit is electrifying. And MPL combines because he's taken the ground off the back of the distraction and does really well, just locking in not one, but two players into that corner position at jungle. There's no way in for the Mongols, and Na'Vi now start to flex their muscles. They've built up such a round buffer here.
That was 2 kills to 2 HP as well. MPL going to be under a bit of pressure here. Actually, a CT smoke deployed there. You can see it on the minimap. It's landed in front of that position to try and isolate the fights as they come on through. So that's kind of a cool little thing. I don't think I've ever seen that smoke thrown out to do that. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite net success. But it is fun because you can separate the T players and try and catch one out with that push. Now they've been able to make their way into the B bomb site with relative ease. Not really costing them too much here. Simple boost on up. Misses the flick, but falls on down and has to support a bit here as well. Able to collect that one. So it is going to be a 14th for Na'Vi.
Yeah, and this is more what you expect out of Na'Vi. They're going through the motions right now, just sticking to their game plan. Everything's done with purpose and intent, and everyone, more importantly, on the same page. CT side, it felt like at times the rotations were a little bit disjointed. There were players overstepping the mark. My mind casts back to that 2 versus 2 where Bit overextends out short when Simple's not ready to go around the corner. But it feels like with that breather, with the swap into that attacking side, they can now just reset themselves in, and 14 rounds plays 9. This is a stark contrast from 8-7 at the turn of the half.
Yes, the single CT round for Mongols, and it was the one that they kind of stole away, right, with the pistols, and they found those really nice deagle shots that set them up to take that one. So if not for that single round, Na'Vi would be flawless on this T side, which is about what you expect, but still an opportunity for Mongols to cause some concerns for Na'Vi. They've got the double AWP out again. Hastika likely to take that one to B, I imagine, as he did previously. Oh, maybe not. Potentially could go for the jump. Nails it. But there's no smoke coming through. Na'Vi aren't putting pressure in mid yet.
Yeah, all the utility thrown out towards A as a result, and look at how many rotations it's pulled. Na'Vi, they've shown a lot of space early, and they've shown that they can just go for full executes. Another layer in the smoke, this time in towards middle. And Azteca is fully blind, has to tuck himself in towards the corner. And that allows Bit to not only get information, but I was going to say take ground. Azteca readjusts. And keep your eye on Bartak, because if he pushes ramp here, he'll be in for a nasty surprise of MPL.
Yeah, surprised he finds that kill there, but able to force the fight. Bartak fully blinded, cannot adjust. MPL comes on through under the crosshair, but Hatstick has found another. And he's got a firing line here into the site. The cross is going to be difficult if Na'Vi want to try and get past him. But now the smoke is going to come on over and block off his vision momentarily. The secondary AWP is over towards Ticket as well, but only for a moment. Simple with 2 massive frags. Puts this now back into a favorable position for Na'Vi. And he's looking for more. Edging on forward towards jungle. Flashed off the mark. Keep an eye on this flank though. Techno 4K is going to be coming up to MPL, who is very low.
But he is holding. And this is a slight off angle. No, the timing does look back at it, but Techno still hits the headshot anyway. Now they can start to pinch in. Azteca could be the unknown element. Techno starts to spam in towards the ninja box, and that entices Perfecto into a peek. And in fact, goes one better. Up and over. AWP can't survive. Na'Vi hold on in the 2 versus 2. Get themselves on map point.
Yeah, beautiful couple of kills from Perfecto there. That second one is quite something. It's a bit hard to do that jump sometimes. This is just well played from Na'Vi. I really like the force out, or the fake out on the smokes on towards A right to try and draw the attention over. And the fact that you've shown no mid presence means that for the Mongols, it seems like it is going to be the direct A hit, right? Because there's been nothing shown in towards mid. Draws their attention. Aztec is still able to get a couple there, but that's all they're able to find. And Bit has gotten down here quickly. This setup is pretty good, but oh, as they disassemble, that's when Bit spots them both. They fall to pieces. And Na'Vi now 3 kills away from taking this best of 1 MPL. He's going to add 1 to his tally. He's charging through as well. Techno 4K caught off guard. Simple with 1 as well. And it's a simple side from Na'Vi on the T side. A 16-9 victory over the Mongols.
Yeah, for sure. And whilst it was so competitive in that first half, the side swap over and the defense presents issues bare for all to see. And you can kind of see the implementation of a new player in towards the roster, going up against one of the best teams in Europe, struggling to deal with all of the pressure and the variations thrown in by Na'Vi. We'll throw this one to a short break, but when we're back, we'll break it all down.
Tale of explosive T-sides between these two teams. Mongols, they had us believing after that first half. But as soon as the side switched, Na'Vi kicked it up a gear to the dominant T half of their own.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like what you got to give Mongols praise for is the way they mid-rounded in that T side. Blitz was able to call up a storm, and it worked out perfectly. But we kind of alluded to it in the pregame before this one went live. The difference in the speed in noticing the reactions and kind of how to exploit your opponents on the defense. I feel like a really clear indication, and one round I really want to draw attention to, is when Na'Vi executed onto the B bomb site off the back of the Mongols pushing extremities in towards ramp. There was a clear timing where they could have done it maybe 5-10 seconds sooner, and it's just that slight hesitation that makes Na'Vi win that round, because it was actually 2 kills on the B bomb site held in by the defense, but the rotations were just too slow to arrive. And that's your difference between the European teams, and they will not kind of give you any sort of leverage to work with.
Yeah, I feel like Na'Vi in particular won't give you that leverage, right? You know, we've had a lot of praise for Electronic as an IGL since he stepped up into this role, and I think that really showed on the T side. It was maybe a little bit of a disappointing CT half from them, considering they were, 6-1 up at one stage. They had a 5-0 start. It was feeling quite good for them, and it looked like it was just going to be an easy game. But then Mongols started just to kick things up a gear. That continued aggression, just forcing the fights. It felt like Na'Vi weren't really responding to it in a very convincing way. They were kind of just playing to Mongols' playstyle, and that wasn't working out for them. You know, I think that kind of reminds me of the FaZe B&E game we had a couple of weeks ago at the RMRs. So, yeah, not quite the start that Na'Vi wanted on that map, but the finish is beautiful. We have a head-to-head we could take a look at. 2 players that really stood out in this series. I think what goes without saying, Blitz from Mongols was fantastic.
Yeah, he really was. And so too was Electronic. It's both leaders of the rosters really calling and leading by example. It was really exciting to see that both of these players actually had IGLs that were top of the board. It's something that doesn't really happen all too much on the server, but when it does, it has to be called upon. And the fact that Electronic is kind of able just to stabilize Na'Vi in the break between the defense and the offense, and he's able just to go, okay, guys, look, we know what's going on. We started off the game strong. Now we can just move into our fundamentals. We can do what we do best, and that's just play the Na'Vi way. And the Mongols were really struggling to adapt to some of the variations, especially in the early stages of the round that Na'Vi were throwing at them.
Yeah, I think it's also worth noting that, you know, Electronic up there in 24 kills. It was the same story for Perfecto as well. And he's not normally the player you see kind of leading the charge, but he has been a player that's been really performing well for Na'Vi over the last month or two at both EPL and also at the RMRs. So it's good to see that form continuing, stepping up alongside Electronic. We saw that great 2K in one of the final rounds towards the end of the map as well from Perfecto. So really good to see. I think maybe the issue with the Mongols is, yeah, we highlight Blitz there. Techno had a few big rounds. The rest, a little bit further behind on that CT side in particular. It felt like they weren't quite able to find the impact you'd want. I think particularly Annihilation with the AWP, we really didn't get to see too much from them. In fact, I think the big AWP highlight on that side came from Hastico, right, with that double kill. So, you know, it really wasn't the AWP impact being felt.
Yeah, for sure. And, well, I want to hear more from Na'Vi themselves. We've got James Banks on the sidelines with MPL.
I got MPL with me from Na'Vi, and okay, you won the game. It was pretty good. You won both pistols, but I got to talk about that first half. You were massively in the lead, and they started to get some good executes going on you. What did it feel like from your side?
I think it's a bit unlucky game for us because they managed to kill us in very strange moments from smokes, and I don't know. Also, we were playing a bit bad because it's early game, 11 a.m. So maybe that's it.
So the Na'Vi slow start was just a slow half start, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. We won, by the way.
Exactly. So you won, that's the main thing when it comes down to it. But overall, yourself, when we look back at the RMR coming into this event, you individually have looked so much better, so much more confident. Do you think we expect the same level of performance now from you?
I don't know, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'll try my best.
You'll try your best.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. We'll see if we get it done. MPL, thank you very much.
Well, he try his best, and that's all we can really hope for. But yeah, a bit humble there, and it was a bit of a slow start, an early game, but it didn't stop Na'Vi from taking it.
Yeah, and we did see him kind of have some really good individual moments, MPL, especially starting off the game on the CT side. It's interesting to say that he thought that Na'Vi were being caught off in difficult moments, and that does reign true because on the Mongols T side, they were really catching out Na'Vi in transition, but I think that's just because of the slowdown in some of the mid-round and the fact that they're able just to kind of pump the brakes, make Na'Vi sweat and doubt a little bit, and as a result, they were catching them. I think also you got to call attention to the fact that more often than not, it was either Blitz or it was Annihilation that was actually getting through the back lines into their spawn, kind of cutting them off before they could even make it to the other bomb site.
Yeah, they're always finding these little gaps to exploit. So it was really exciting T-side to watch from Mongols, actually. On the other stream as well, we had the update NIP took down Imperial. That was a 16-5 victory. So a strong start from NIP in this event. A little sad for Imperial playing on home turf, but that's going to be our opening match done. We've got an exciting one coming up next. It's Heroic vs. 9. Don't go anywhere.
The bell tolls for Cologne. This cathedral, a cathedral that is stacked from the earth to the heavens with the greatest of all the fans, the most passionate.
You love it, you wear it.
Wear your passion. Share your passion. Wherever, whenever. Gaming is a lifestyle. Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Welcome back in, everyone, to the IEM Rio B stream. First best of one out the way, 3 more to go here on the stream so far, and it's a really spicy one, Lucy. Heroic taking on 9.
Yeah, I think this is the matchup that I'm most excited for in these best of ones. I think both these teams have really shown what they can do. I mean, Heroic obviously coming in as one of the best teams in the world. We know them very well, always go the distance in playoffs. Last time they were in Rio, they were in the grand final of the major. For 9, though, on the other side, this is a team that has been impressing everybody. We saw them shine, blast, but I think particular the RMRs is really where they stepped up, qualifying as legends at the Paris Major, and I think they're on everyone's lips as the team to watch.
Yeah, I've been following this team for a while now, just in Tier 2, and the grind they've been on is superb. And where you see most of the teams in Tier 2, where they have this kind of rise and they go on the upward trajectory, sometimes they do fall off a little bit, but 9 have remained consistent. And when they go toe-to-toe with teams that are best in the region, they've really been delivering, and they've really been showing why they are a team to contend with. They are really pushing the envelope to establish themselves in the forefront of some of the great teams in Counter-Strike.
Yeah, and I think if we look at both these two teams on paper, it's really interesting contrast because Heroic, right, they feel like the team that's immune to upsets in terms of best of ones. They've shown that in the past, they showed it at the RMRs. But 9 on the other side are kind of the upset masters. You know, they took down G2, they took down Big, they took down Vitality, they took down Fnatic at an event before then. So this is a team that can cause those upsets against teams that you would normally look at as very stable pairs of hands. So I think when you combine the two in the server, it could really go either way.
Yeah, and Maui made a really good point just talking about 9. But before we move on to that, let's take a look at this Heroic roster, because it's Yabby in particular that I just kind of focus on. Because when he came into the team, it was obviously this teething issues. There was a settling in period. But Caden himself said last time they were in Rio that the trajectory and the timeline of Yabby has really been accelerated. And he was the highest rated performer for Heroic coming out of the RMRs. And this team just looks like they're going from strength to strength. Can anything really stop them?
Yeah, because normally you look to Stown, right, as kind of the one standout player on this roster. Although I guess the thing about Heroic that makes them special is that everyone is really consistent. And, you know, there's not really a low floor. It's quite a high floor for this team. You know, even on their low days, they'll all be performing quite well. But it feels like Yabby is almost taking over Stown's kind of star position in the team. And that makes them even more exciting, right? When you've got Yabby popping off, you've got Stown as this really consistent, strong performer. And then you've got players like Shush, right, who is kind of the support anchor player, one of the best anchors that we have in Tier 1. And he carried them through the RMRs. He was their highest rated player. This is a guy that is always stepping up in the most important matches. And I think it just makes for a really exciting team to watch.
Yeah, I agree with the Shush point entirely. I think that he is one of the best anchors we have in Counter-Strike Global Offensive at the moment. And that says a lot when Heroic have got a lot of these really strong pieces. And I think what's also interesting is that this organization, whenever they come into an event, they set their sights on it. It's their primary focus. They're so tunnel visioned in it. You can always expect a deep run out of Heroic. When you look at these teams here at IEM Rio, you can always point to Heroic as one of the teams that potentially could be making that final. But can they really lift the trophy? That's now the next step. That's now the next conversation piece, because it's happened a couple of times. Obviously over in Blast Fall, they were able to do it, but here on the big stages, it's the restart of the Grand Slam as well, because FaZe won that in Pro League. Can Heroic now just start to make a claim for that themselves?
Yeah, I feel like they're definitely one of the teams in top conversation to do so. I feel like Rio was a really good place for them to get it start, just because, you know, it's kind of a place where they're going to have the crowd maybe on their side a little bit, right? I feel like they really sort of won them over at the Rio Major, and it feels like if they get to that playoff stage, they'll also have that little buff there, as long as they're not up against a Brazilian team, of course.
Yeah, for sure. Let's take a look at 9, because I really want to focus in on this team a lot. And going back to my earlier point, Maui was saying that 9 are basically Tier 2 Heroic kind of incarnate. They play very similar. And the reason why 9 could have a lot of upset potential is, especially on the CT side, they're not afraid to go and make plays. They're constantly looking to try and take the advantage away. And when you're in a best of one format, such as these opening games here at IEM Rio, that can really set off the balance of a team that's just trying to go through the motions, go through their game plan. Obviously, a team like Heroic is going to have plans B, plan C in their pocket. But if Nine can do that on a consistent basis, that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah, Nine is such an exciting team. I think anyone that's been following them in the tier 2 scene has been sort of watching them and knows that they were going to have a big impact once they started qualifying for events. And they've qualified for quite a few. Obviously here at Dallas, the RMRs, where they went through as legends. And, you know, ever since they brought in Hades at the start of the year, they've just been absolutely dominating. Just some really fantastic performances. They were on something like an 80% win rate for a while in all those sort of tier 2 online games. And they've been able to translate that successfully onto LAN. Now, the one sort of caveat is Nine, you know, they're not a team that's used to international travel. Coming over to Rio, you know, it's a whole new ballpark for them. They've just come off that high of the RMRs, and now they have a chance to really continue building this new Polish legacy with this team. But it's a whole new experience for them. You know, Hades obviously had that experience with Ents, but for the rest of the team, it's quite new.
Yeah, but Hades was that player in the RMR that was really getting behind his team. Everyone was galvanizing off each other. The energy was electric in that Nine camp. Whenever you took a look at the player cams, they were all hyping each other up, getting themselves on that same level. And that is a really powerful factor. The fact that they're able to translate online success into LAN results quite quickly is very scary. And that means that we've got a lot of expectation on them coming in. Taking a look at the veto, though, we can kind of translate our attention back in towards that as it does appear on the screen. Heroic actually just ban out Inferno.
That's weird.
Nine. Yeah, I thought so as well, because that's Nine's permaban.
Yeah. Maybe that's the wrong way around in terms of the icon. That's bizarre to me that Heroic would do that, because Heroic are also an incredibly good Inferno team. So I imagine that's a little graphical error. Nine definitely would have banned Inferno straight up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. I think Heroic will probably see that Anubis ban. And then, yeah, the rest, I mean, there's a few common ground maps here. There's maps like Nuke, where Nine have actually taken down some really strong teams. Overpass, another map they're both comfortable on. I mean, really, they actually have a very similar map pool outside of those two permabans.
I like this ban out of Heroic. Vertigo is a really strong map for Nine, and it's got potential to kind of cause a little bit of chaos and turbulence during a best of one. Overpass actually banned out by Nine. I think they're going to try and hedge this more towards Nuke or potentially Mirage now.
Yeah, it's interesting. Mirage feels like the map that you would expect, but I like this ban. It's kind of, I think this might catch Heroic off guard, because now we've got some weird maps in the mix. We're looking at Nuke potentially, or even an Ancient, which would be an interesting place to land. And indeed, it is that Ancient. And that's kind of exciting. Both these teams, I don't think either of them is really a big Ancient team. So I feel like it's going to be a really interesting matchup.
It's kind of middle ground in the fact that there's no team that can really be dominant on it, which sets us up for a really spicy best of one. And I have to agree with what you were saying the entire time. The fact that the bans come through, we expected the Vertigo ban out of Heroic. The fact that Nine just actually restricts options that I thought it might come down to, just removing these common maps and throwing a curveball in there. Could this potentially be part of the mind games? Could this be the surprise factor that Heroic already not really anticipated?
Yeah, I think this is absolutely intentional from Nine. I mean, it might not be the most success they've had on Ancient, but it's definitely one they've put a lot of reps into. I mean, they've put a lot of reps into every map with the amount of tournaments that they've been grinding it out. And it's kind of crazy how Ancient has become almost like the default best of one map. We see it so much in the RMRs, and we're seeing it here as well at Rio Ancient, where we kick off this best of one between Heroic and Nine.
Nine style on the T side, and a lot of utility out the gate early. Fast flashes utility in towards B deep, but that's not the true intention. Nine running through middle, trying to do presence in towards Donut, but Shush is here with the dual Berettas, and Yabby steps in as well. It's an absolute mowdown, and whilst Kyler is here on the flank, Heroic stands strong.
Oh, Kyler removed as well. Minio is the only one remaining, and, well, nothing in his grasp. He gets absolutely hounded, and that is a flawless pistol round for Heroic. They do not budge when Nine send that contact in towards B. It looks like an execute out the gate. Nine are trying to fake it, and they go fast towards Donut. It's a really cool pistol round, but Heroic just don't budge. They keep that double setup in towards Donut the whole time, and it collects every kill.
I think it's also just that the fact the smoke was so deep. Nine are throwing that one in towards CT to kind of cut off rotations, put a doubt into Heroic's mind. So even the small micro on the position of the smoke, and yet Heroic still don't budge. full eco coming out of 9. They want to invest the weapons early into round number 3. And look at the pace that Heroic are applying to this round early on. So much control being gathered, both in mid and also out towards Shelf. It immediately restricts options for 9. And it feels like they're just kind of forced to go in towards A, or just subject themselves in towards spawn, wait out the utility, and see if there's going to be another reaction from Heroic.
Yeah, Heroic should know that 9 would never invest into this. They didn't find a single kill in that pistol, no bomb plat, nothing to really give them any incentive to force. So they can play this more passive setup. Yabby gets a bit of a lineup in mid. Kala does get one onto Cadian with that Glock, but that might be all that's been able to be found here. The bomb is dropped. An MP9 in Kylar's hands, and a very difficult task ahead of him. Further damage, unlikely. Stan has the angle locked on in, and as soon as he swings, it's going to spot him out. Kylar tries to jiggle it to see if he can get a few bullets to the dome, but now there's 2 players to find. Tessa's from above, gets the kill, and Heroic, a great response to the Glocks.
Yeah, really nicely done, right? It's 1 casualty, and there was a lot of M4s invested. So this buy, now coming up against AKs, is really fleshed out by Heroic.
Yeah, I really like the full M4 investment, right? Because you know that it's just going to be Glocks. So it's a really nice way to set yourself up for later.
Yeah, future-proofing. Cool stuff coming in from Heroic. Even dropping utility to enable Yabby to kind of just hold middle. We see this a lot out of Heroic. It's these gamble stacks on maps and one player given a lot of responsibility and utility, just trying to hold on to one segment of control. And whilst Cave is being preoccupied, 9, they're just going to contact, walk out A, and no one's home.
Yeah, they're sending the execute over towards B. A smoke comes through, a flash over top, and 9 have just walked on through. And literally nobody is here. In fact, an extra rotation comes through to B, so 9 have managed to exploit this, knowing that Heroic love a CT rotate, and it has allowed them to get that bomb down, and there's still 2 9 players over towards B that can be a disrupting force into the back lines. Look at K's position here. He's going to come up from behind. Stout is definitely aware of it, though. They're not taking any chances, and he's able to find that kill. K removed. A second flank comes through in Goofy, but he has to reveal himself.
Yeah, this is where the retake gets tricky for Heroic, because the starting positions for 9 are so far forward. Despite that, trades are back and forth in an instant. Hades gets knocked down off his perch on the boost, and Goofy nearly lines up a couple. Low HP for Heroic, and Shush, he's just sticking the bomb. Goofy swaps to the Glock, and somehow, some way, 9 recover the round. Heroic denied of the defuse.
What a 4K from Goofy, but particularly those final 2 kills. It looks like that defuse is going to come through. The spam doesn't connect. There's, half a second left, and the Glock comes out. He just sprays it wildly and manages to connect the shot. I really want to see that one back, because that felt like an absolute steal from Goofy at the end. You can see him line these ones up. Knows it. Can't throw that Molotov down. Goes for the spam here. It doesn't connect. That's the shot. That's the shot that denies the defuse.
That's crazy. Now Hades can post up. Early boost finds success. Tesses has to watch on from the spectators bench in round number 4. And he was one of those players that was peeking just for information. At least Yabby has got an M4. Rotated over. Down as well with a rifle. 3 players locked up at B. And finally, this is where 9 look to establish some control. Or do they? Again, it's more misdirection.
With this really forward presence into Cave, you're kind of tempted to go towards B, right? Like, it's so much presence, and Cadian's just pushed through the smoke. Actually gets a kill for free there, so he'll take that one. Trey does come on through. And Stan steps into his footsteps, goes in towards Cave, gets all the information. That's allowed Yabby to rotate over as well. He's still got Shush boosted up, so even though... Oh, he's actually going to come on through, activates, gets himself an AK, and gets the information. They now know it's just Donut. Yabby sets himself up for a headshot angle here as they come on through, but can't quite connect. Has to fall on back. A bomb being planted now, bit of defense coming through from Goofy. They know that Shush is tucked on in, and in the 3 versus 3, Heroic have a chance here.
They are disjointed, though, and I like this from 9. They're flashing themselves forward, trying to take space out towards CT, and that alleviates pressure. Hades dealing with Stown. It's just Yabby left, and that first engagement comes at half the cost of his health. Jumping forward, knows where 2 of these players remain. But time not on his side. Defuse kit not in play. Instead, scoops the AK, gets out of dodge.
Yeah, his retreat's hurt as well. But he should be able to get away. Kyla won't be able to get close enough, although he's kind of stuck around here and could be under threat. Kyla's not going to overextend, got himself an M4, so doesn't want to throw that one away because it was a pretty close round 4-9. But they do manage to break Heroic off that force. And now Heroic are in a tough situation. They've got this AK brought on over, but kind of feels like you just have to wear this one and see if Yabi can get something done with the Hero AK.
Yeah, it feels similar to the previous because Heroic were operating on a very limited investment where it's just a couple of rifles. This time it gets just a little bit worse. And now these are the proving grounds for 9. These are the rounds in which you don't want to kind of fall victim to any chaos that Heroic might throw your way. Needs to be a stabilization, needs to be a comfortable one to not only inspire belief, but just get you on the right track, especially in a best of 1.
Yeah, Heroic are very active on these sort of rounds. You'll see them take space so that they can make intelligent decisions about where they want to put their stacks in play. And, well, Minio gets to tap on the head of Yabi, and they have that AK locked on through, which is very unfortunate for Heroic. That was kind of the key piece to really get anything done in this round. It's removed. That should be easy sailing for the Polish squad. Just these 2 players sitting in towards Red House. So 3-2 start for 9, looking pretty nice on this T side. Minio needs to be careful here, and in fact, he needs to be really careful. Oh, Katie, and it felt like he had that knife ready. Minio turns around at the last second and denies, but I like the attempt.
Oh, yeah, Tessez can't even finish the meal either. Solid stuff from 9. That's flawless. And that's actually them taking the lead. Heroic can now reinvest back in. Katie in a difficult decision to make. Do you want to go for M4 and armor, or do you just want to go for the glass cannon, NT on the knife? That would have made the decision a lot easier.
Well, they used their first tactical to decide this because it's also not the best money for like Stown either. And Tessa's both in the same position. So there will be some compromises on the buy if they do decide to fully invest. See what they come out with. And indeed, Cadian has gone for the AWP without armor. So it is the glass cannon in play, which means we will see the rest of the team invest around that, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. And now the conversation piece is, does Cadian want to get aggressive on this peak? Does he want to try and find the opener to then fall back so Heroic can then rely on their crossfires later on? Or are they just going to allow 9 to have some sort of semblance of map control? We've seen heavy prioritization coming out of the CT side, fighting in towards middle. This time it's just utility that they lead with. Stown gets spotted on the shoulder peak, but at least it's only the shoulder presented, so he's able to fall back quite comfortably.
Good ground being taken, though, from 9. Now, they are going to send out the execute utility towards A, and the bomb is here, so it does feel like they are committing a bit of a split coming through mid as well. 2 players in towards Donut. Yabi's not quite looking this way, decides to adjust over, and it's a fast, snappy shot for Minio. That's going to set them up. Shush gets 1 on the defense, and Cadian, a crucial kill onto Hades. Even though he's smoked off, it puts it into the 3-on-3 and makes it doable for the CTs.
Look at Kate. So close to this smoke, even drops another, but Cadian's found Goofy in the meantime. Everyone rotating through, and that gives Stown a little bit of a safer passage to come through the smoke. Now Minio, vision obscured, needs to try and lock in this afterplant, but over the top, identifies the position for Heroic, and now they can start to converge, swarm on towards the bomb, and Stown doesn't even need his teammates' help.
Yeah, you can understand Minio's decision-making there. Just wants to go for the pre-fire spray, try and catch one of these players out as they cross, or try and fight him. Very unfavorable situation for him to be in with that smoke going down on the bomb, but that's a great retake from Heroic. Cadian gets a really crucial kill because they lost both players here. Hades peeking just before that smoke blooms, and Cadian just finds this gap as well. Well-timed on the peaks. Heroic with a very good defuse to get back into the game.
But we are seeing Nine's fundamentals and the understanding of the game. With that A split coming in, the Donut players take first contact to allow Heroic to reshuffle in the open. So then when the A main players fan out, swing wide, there's so many different options for Nine to be able to get the kill and even follow up with a second.
This is a different look from Nine this time around. Hades gets the opener onto Cadian, who was playing passive from deep towards CT on the B bomb site, and Hades just peeks on through, finds that one. Yabi responds in kind in towards mid. Minio caught out in the open as he gets flushed out by the flames towards that box. So good response, keeps it in even steading. And you know Heroic aren't ones to rest after finding themselves in this sort of position. They can start to take ground in towards mid. The other two pieces staying fudged on B and A.
Well played. Tesses and Yabi nearly with kills, but look at the response. Nine actually crunch on the position themselves, find themselves in a favorable scenario. 3 versus 2, 45 seconds left. A bomb site completely vacant, but Heroic want to hedge their bets towards B.
Yes, this is where Nine just need to send in Kylo with low HP towards A. Worst case, he goes down and you know that there's only one player on the B bomb site. But the best case, which is what we're living in, he's going to find this for free. Low HP anyway, so using him as a scouting tool is the perfect use case. He's not going to spot anyone. Nine actually don't have time to go back, though. The mid's just too clear. Okay, he's going to be on the flank, though. Still a powerful position for time. Such a concern now for Nine. Down. He gets forward so that he's not revealed from behind. And even going to spot out that flank. A good hit through the bomb plant denied. And this one is Heroic's round. Hades would love to do some more, but his chances are limited. Brought down low, and he might not even survive the round. And no scope to ensure his survival at the very least.
Yeah, now a tactical timeout being called. Norrock can jump on the microphone. That was exactly the correct play that Nine made. And he described it perfectly, but the issue and the fundamental principle of it was they didn't have enough time to get through. And where they crunched on towards middle initially, where they vacated the space and was looking more in towards cave, more in towards B ramp, they didn't know whether Heroic added another layer of security in towards middle. And that's always the danger, because it's so unknown. You have to go with the map control you've already established, and therefore it's just a foot race with limited time left towards B. Heroic, they guessed correctly, and that earns them the round.
Hades the impact player regardless, with that double kill he did find, although the last one was just to stay alive. And he has actually held on to that AWP, so obviously no income around it. And the rest of the team opting to keep their money the same. Lost bonus not there for the squad, so really Hades is the only one that can get much done in this round. At the moment, his vision is obscured. They might try and boost him over, but nobody is in mid at the moment. Heroic taking a lot of space for free. Lane is completely theirs. They can just smoke this off for days. Nine are forced to look elsewhere.
They have a little bit of a gander in towards middle. Hades posting, positioning in towards red, not finding anything. Yabi, closest point of contact in towards Donut, and Down actually does rotate over. Hades, can he find Yabi? That's now the next cause for concern. Flashbang baits out the shot. Heroic, they can just remain rooted. They don't need to switch their setup, and Down through the smoke deals with Minio.
Yeah, I can just spam that one on through, and he's still a presence here, although they do look to put a bit of pressure onto him. This reposition's great, though. He's going to be set up to collect 2, might even get the 4th kill for him in the round. Down, doing everything in mid. That AWP negated. Goofy's position known, and well, maybe a chance for a Down ace. He's definitely looking for it, but Tessa steals it at the very tail end. But hey, it's with the MP9, so you cannot blame him.
Yeah, for sure. And the main focus for Heroic is always the round. It doesn't matter too much about the ace, but this reposition is everything. I also like the layering of Heroic's approach in that round towards middle. It's the fact that they throw the flashbang over, but don't swing off the back of it. It's purely for information, and they get exactly what they need. It affirms Down's position to be over towards red. And from there, he can just dictate the play with Yabi. 9, force in. Only a deagle for Hades, so it's the pocket AWP rather than the premium. And Tessez can just smoke off cave, no access granted for free.
Yes, Stan's here with that ult he recovered off Hades, and he's going to reposition as the utility comes on through, but there's a gap here. Goes for the shot, but misses it, as does the second. Everyone's falling now for Heroic as it's a split onto the site. Hades gets that Deagle singing. And Shush and Katie, and I mean, they can't even give this round a look in. They're nowhere to be found. A perfect site take from 9.
And we've seen this a couple of rounds now from 9. In the opening stages of this first half, they're leading a lot more with contact and they're pushing the issue. They're never telegraphing their true intentions over towards a bomb site. And Heroic are getting caught off guard by this. You can see that Stan was not ready for a player to be so close to swing on short. And everything is done by design. 9 double swing. They then have the cave alert coming in because players are distracted with the bomb site hold. And it is all very intentional. And Cadian, best he can do is deny Hades an opportunity to save that weapon. He's even pushing further forward, wants to ensure that the sniper can't be pulled over.
Well, a rare little fumble from Stan, not able to connect either of those kills. Means that Heroic's side hold falls short, and 9 continue to keep this game competitive. At least for Heroic, saving those weapons over sets them up for a decent little haul in this round. See what the play is for 9 this time around. Heroic taking a lot of aggression in mid, getting this MP9 up close. Utility coming on through. Minio wants to fight it, and Yabi is flashed back on through. Both teams wanting to take this ground, but the smoke is going to slow down 9 for now.
It looks like shadow boxing at times. Just so patient, boost perfect for Kyler. And Yabi just snaps at the ankles. Not quite converting anything. Stout has to remain aware because 9 now look to compromise his position. It is a slight off angle, but the escape path in is quite dangerous because he's so alone.
Yeah, it's no surprise to see Heroic go for a bit of a stack over towards B in this sort of circumstance. Stout has found 1 kill just through spamming and a lot of damage being done back in response. Yabi with the AWP. Would you believe it? He's making it work with that kill. That's immediately forced 9 out of the site. Repositioning now. Going to be making their way through Donut. And Shush is playing quite passive just due to that stack that was in play towards B. Going to reposition now, though. And Heroic, well, they've felt no contact over towards B. And Yabi's holding ramp with the AWP. Shush in a prime position now to collect K as he comes on through. Such low HP on him. Trade has to be good for 9. And Tessus comes on over as well. A really nice setup here for Heroic. The bomb does make it through, courtesy of a boost, actually. That's really cool. Okay, boost up Goofy to get that one down, but it's still not a nice, comfortable position in this retake. That angle's nice from K, but doesn't set him up. Shush able to adjust and find the kill. A lot of damage done, but the kill's coming on through. Another. Oh, but Kyler catches up Tessa. Still doable here in a swing and a miss. Down now in the 1 versus 1. Kyler so low in towards the donut, and there is a kit in play too. In fact, he's able to collect it. Lots of utility that he's on the road for. Flames can be pushed on forward, and that's going to land straight on Kyler. Such little HP. He's forced out in the open and around towards where Stan is holding. Perfectly handled in the 1v1, and should have just enough time for the defuse.
Yeah, huge retake coming in from Stown. The fact he's aware that